All right, lads, what's the crack? You well? All good in the hood, lads. Episode 5. Can you believe it? Can you hear how chipper I am in my voice? We made it. Number 5. That's a milestone, lads. 5. I did 5 something, so that's decent. 5. Yeah. Wait till we get to 10. I might have a house party for the 10th one. Live house party podcast. That'll be some shy talk then. This is actually my second attempt here now at episode 5 because I had 5 minutes of it recorded and the laptop started acting up big time. And I'm looking at it now and I think it could be still acting up. So this mightn't even get out there. Great weekend last weekend. Paddy's weekend, of course. We had a wedding on a Friday. A lot of pints had that weekend. Jesus. Wedding on a Friday. 2 good friends of mine got married. We were supposed to have a match then on Saturday evening. I wasn't looking forward to that with the bad head. But we were driving home, myself and one of the boys. Well, he was driving. And we had the 2 women with us. And we got a phone call then said that the matches were off because of the weather. Oh, stop. Oh, it was music to our ears. Just coming into Castlebar, swung a right, McDonald's, into McDonald's, had the feed, back to Clonfad, on the beer, all day, all night. And it was absolutely tremendous fun. Tremendous fun. I wouldn't have minded having that on podcast because that day would have been a viral hit. Some of the conversations that were coming out that day. It was great old crack now. And then of course we had Paddy's Day, so full blown session again on Paddy's Day, flat out. Yeah, all good though, all good news. Excuse me. Yeah, so we'll kick it off with Achill Island story, part 2. I probably should have told this all in one last week and said fuck the 50 minutes, but at the same time, 50 minutes seems a lot to me anyway. It's a lot of dedication to listen to something for 50 minutes. Like, that's the length of an album. So, that's enough. Yeah, 50 minutes is enough. But Achill part 2. So, we got over the van. That was it. You knew the gang of lads that were down there with us. Basically, a few lads come down to watch us play in the band. The 4 of us in the band. A couple of the lads from the band went home in the van, and a couple of us stayed with a few of the other lads. So there's 5 of us staying in this room. And the room that the ones in the hotel gave us to stay in, bear in mind there's 4 of us in the band anyway, they gave us a twin room, so there's 2 single beds, which is grand. Like, we wouldn't give a shit about that. Sleep on the floor or whatever, it makes no odds. But so there's 5 of us staying in this room, and there's mental cunts up on the roof. They were running, young lads like running across the roof, knocking on our window. They were like basically jumping into the nightclub. There was a nightclub onto the hotel, so they were kind of breaking into the nightclub. We're going in past bouncers or some shit, and we were saying, geez, fair play to them. Like, we used to do the same kind of crack ourselves when we were younger. And next thing, although I was younger, so I was probably doing the same stuff myself at the time, but not in Achill though. But yeah, so one of the lads anyway wanted to show us this trick that he had of the vanishing toilet paper. So he went in, he got like 4 or 5 squares of toilet paper, held it up, and then got a can of Lynx at it and just sprayed the living shite out of it. So it was practically soaking in Lynx. And he got a lighter and just lit it. And I suppose the trick was, or whatever, is that it basically just disappears. It just goes poof, and there's no toilet paper left around, and it just kind of goes up into smoke. And up into smoke it did go. And a little cloud of smoke started rising towards the fire alarm. Or the smoke alarm, should I say. Or fire alarm. And one of the lads dived across. It was like fucking Gianluigi Buffon in his prime, making this cat-like dive across the room to try and swipe at this cloud of smoke that was going straight for it, straight for the fire smoke alarm. Missed it, failed miserably. The smoke alarm duly obliged by sucking in that sweet, sweet smoke and setting off the entire hotel's fire alarm system. This is about, there was lads going into the nightclub, so it's probably about like between 1 to 1 o'clock maybe. So fire alarm went off. Oh Jesus, they obviously knew it was us because it would have been located in the room. Such a fire alarm went off. We took a look out in the hallway, lads. Oh Jesus, there was old biddies all over the place, curlers in, blue rinses all over the shop, giving out stink, wondering what the fuck was going on. Them out in their nightgowns and night dresses and everything, and they didn't know whether they were evacuated or anything. Oh, it was fucking gas. It was a bit worrying at the time, though, but it was gas looking back at it. But we were like, oh Jesus, what the hell is going to happen here now? And we were thinking maybe we'd get fucked out of the hotel, and the boys were gone home for the last hour, so we'd have to get on to them to come back to us. It was a fucking disaster anyway. But your one that was running the hotel, or manager of the hotel or whatever anyway, comes up to the room, and she is Rotto, absolutely loaded drunk, and she was steamed up when we got there in the first place hours before, and she must have been just drinking on. But she just goes, looks in the door, and the 5 of us were in there. Bear in mind, there was 4 of us in the band, so they gave us this room for 4 people. And she's like, 5 bodies and 2 beds, and she's like looking at us, like questioning us. What are you at? Like, 5 bodies and 2 beds. And we're like, yeah, that's the room you gave us for the band. And she didn't know she was loaded. Next, one of the lads in it, oh, it's funny, he just starts pointing at stuff in the room. 1 ashtray, 2 curtains, 2 lockers. This friend is he had her as confused. That was fucking funny. But anyway, we got to stay in the hotel anyway. That was the main thing. That was the good thing, I suppose. And we were leaving in the morning. We were trying to make a fairly quick exit now, to be fair, in the morning. Shooting down the stairs, and the Marines, the US Marines have a good slogan. It's like, leave no man behind, you know. I really like that. I like that saying. But the 4 other lads that I was with didn't live by the same rules as the US Marines, unfortunately. Because Johnny Shitbag here was on crutches at the time, so I wasn't as nimble or as agile to make a quick getaway as they were. I'd say the 4 of them cunts were in the car before I got down the stairs, and I was just coming down to the bottom of the stairs, hobbling down on crutches, a broken ankle, like, on crutches, hobbling down. I got to the bottom of the stairs, and these 2 old ones were at the bottom of the stairs, and they were 2 old women. And they would have been in their late 70s, if not early 80s. And I was just there, and all I had with me was a wash bag and my crutches, and I was as awkward as fuck, and I was hungover and bursting head. And me being my friendly, mannerly self, I said, "Oh, good morning, ladies, how are ye?" And the 2 of them just looked at me. And one of them stared at me and goes, "You're worse than knackers." I couldn't believe it, man. I stopped in my tracks. I was like, Jesus. This is fucking embarrassing. I was like, Christ. What could I do, though? What could I say? But it turned out then that we were going, actually, in our defense. Sure, didn't your one that was loaded, the manager of the hotel, she was the worst business person / manager people person I've ever met in my life, by the way. Absolutely atrocious. But it turns out she fucking told all the old ones in the hotel, like when they were up having the breakfast in the morning, that it was us, the 4 of us or 5 of us, that was running across the roofs of the hotels, banging on windows and stuff like that. And sure, it's happening every weekend, and her knowing full well that it was happening every weekend, because but we got blamed for everything anyway. The whole lot, the noise, there was a heap of noise complaints from the nightclub because it's next door. They blamed it all on us. Blamed the fucking lot on us. Hung us out to dry. But we actually, the funny thing is, we had a gig down in Achill the following week as well, but in a different place. And then the dirty cunt fucking rang, excuse the language, she rang the pub owner as well, at the pub that we were staying at the pub that we were supposed to be playing in. And told her that we were a gang of lunatics and that we shouldn't be allowed back on the island. Oh, it was awful crack. But your one rang us and said to come down, that she heard that we were good, like, and I heard that there was nothing done really. But that the band was good, so she was happy enough to take us down. We were down at a great night then the following week. But that was the Achill story part 2 anyway, lads. I hope it was worth it. It was brought back some nice memories now thinking about it. Fucking hell, the shit you used to get up to. Jesus. Good times, good times. Anyway, yeah, that's about it. Good. Actually, do you know what? It's just popped into my head now. I'll tell it while I'm here. We were in Poland there last year as well for, speaking of weddings earlier on, Poland for one of the lads' weddings. Well, one of the lads and one of the girls. Another 2 friends of mine that were getting married over in Wrocław in Poland. Only took me about 3 months to realise that's how you say Wrocław, because it's spelled Raclav or Raclav. So it's Wrocław. I think that's the right pronunciation. So any Polish listeners out there, let me know if that was a good pronunciation. Wroclaw, I think is how you spell the name of the town. Wrocław. I think that's it anyway. Anyway, that's irrelevant. But it filled 30 seconds. Hi-oh, that'll do. Yeah, so we were staying in the hotel. There was only one kind of hotel in the town. A small enough town, I suppose. Probably about the size of maybe like Tuam or Castlebar or something. Nice town though. Lovely actually place. And got to drive through a lot of the countryside, like Polish countryside, getting there. That's class. I love seeing all that shit, like, and seeing different kind of what people are growing and what kind of, it's just I find it interesting. Probably get slagged for that, but having a look at different people's farms, I like to have a gander, see what kind of tractors they have. Couple of old ladders parked out the back, money in them lads. But we were in the hotel the first night anyway. We were there for 3 nights, and excuse me, the first night was the only night really that you could go, if you were to go downtown, it was the only night that you could go downtown, because we had the wedding on the Saturday, so that was out in a hotel restaurant just outside the town. And the Polish do it right, man. They had a second day then in the same place, full fucking day, full dinner again. It's like 2 weddings. It is 2 weddings really, to be fair. The only thing that's missing the second day is there's no mass. So it's nearly better. But on the first night, so there was a few of the lads who were saying, "Geez, we won't get a chance to go down and have a look in the town. We'll go down tonight now and find a place, go to a nightclub or find a couple of late bars or something and have a few drinks in the town." So they were trying to get me to go down, and I was like, no, I couldn't be bothered. I was wrecked out. There was good old crack in the hotel, in fairness, where we were, because there was a big gang of us from Ireland gone over, and the crack was going. So I was thinking, the bird in the hand, word 2 in the street, you know. So I was happy enough where I was, and I said I'd take my chances with the hotel. So the boys got the receptionist then to ring a taxi. This is about, I don't know, maybe 9:30 or 10 o'clock on a Friday night. Taxi buck landed. The 4 of them balled into the car. Can you take us to the best place in town for pub or nightclub? Your man hadn't a button of English, not a fucking thing. So they were like, disco bar, disco best, you know, any kind of words at all to throw them out. Your man ended up bringing them back to with great work anyway. I think I'd say they'd Google Translate on the go as well for a while. Brought them back to the taxi office. Is that it? Taxi rank? Taxi office. And got his manager anyway. Fair play to him. Pure sound. Called your man over, talked in Polish, said, find out basically what these lads want. So your man had fairly good English. They asked him, we want to go to like a nightclub or a late bar, like a disco bar. And he was like, "Oh yes, okay, yeah, perfect, perfect, perfect." So he had a word in the taxi driver's ear in Polish, obviously. Told him where to take them. Happy days. The boys were on the way back. 5 minutes later, they land back at the hotel that we were in. Here we are, boys, the best place in town. It was whopper. They were gone for about 25 minutes. All they did was just drive to the taxi rank, have an awkward conversation with two Polish lads, and then drive back. And they dropped them at the best place in town, which we were all along. So that was just a little funny little anecdote I thought I'd throw in there. What will we talk about first, lads? I don't have an awful lot to talk about, really. I've a heap of stories that I'm going to kind of bring into the mix. I've that Anne Doyle one. I might throw it out there, but I'll be careful what I say about her. Another fucking RTE contingent. Another gowl bag. I have an email as well, a couple of email exchange that I wrote with Kellogg's as well about for when they changed Coke Pops. They took some of the sugar out of the Coke Pops. Pricks. So I don't have that email though, because I don't know if I'll read it out. It'd be a bit weird reading it out probably. I might just post it. I might just post it on the social media afterwards and talk about it a bit. But I'm not going to do that today. We'll see how we have time. Might have time. We'll move on. I'll do album of the week or album of the fortnight. Maybe I should start calling it album of the fortnight, because obviously it's 2 weeks. Can't really call it album of the week. Album of the fortnight. This fortnight is by a band called Astro Queen. I'd only ever heard one song of theirs before. It was on some playlist or something that I had on Spotify, and I decided to dive a little deeper into their back catalogue. Turns out it's not very long. They had one album in 2002. The album is called Into Submission. The band is called Astro Queen. It's real kind of sludgy rock, stoner rock, hard rock. Excellent singer, which is something that I'd look for in a lot of those bands. Very good singer. Cool riffs. Kind of like bluesy as well, parts of it. But it's all about space and everything. Like the lyrics, they weren't exactly speaking to me or anything, but it's just cool, kind of hard rock. Really good album. Astro Queen. Check them out, lads. Check them out. The honorary mentions. Oh, my phone is vibrating there. Just turn it off. It's the owl lady. Sorry, Mom. I'm making a podcast, Mom. Leave me alone. I'll ring her back after. Yeah, honorary mention. Songs for the Deaf, Queens of Stone Age. Lads, what an album. I forgot how good it was. I really did. And I was very tempted to make that the album of the week. And the reason I didn't, lads, in all honesty, is just the album kind of tails off at the end. It's like it opens, it's so good. Like the first 5-6 songs, unreal. Obviously it chills out a little bit then, but then it kind of, for me anyway, it just kind of tails off a little bit. That's why I didn't make it album of the week, but it's very close. Very close. And that Astro Queen was the first time I actually heard the album, and it was just fucking excellent. So I was getting it. And I have one more recommendation, and this one is actually dedicated to the one and only FAI's Young Player of the Year, Declan Rice. This is for you, bud. It's a classic Wolf Tones album, and it's at their very best live in 2010, which is just a fantastic kind of greatest hits live album of the Wolf Tones. And that's for Declan. So enjoy it, buddy. What a disgrace, lads, that is. This is going to flow. You'll think this is planned. We'll move on to sport, will we? We're flowing now, lads. Oh, yes. I didn't even fucking plan that. Happy days. So, Declan Rice, under 21, Player of the Year. Absolute. A joke. Ridiculous. Yeah, insane. Not going to say anything else about it. It's you all know the crack. You all know where I stand with that cunt. Speaking of cunts, John Delaney stepped down as CEO. I'd say he'd still be on a tasty little number. What is he going to be? Just vice CEO or vice something? Vice executive officer? Fucking, it's not much of a statement really. Turned out the FAI were paying his rent for God knows how long. The last time he was in a job, $3,000 a month rent. FAI were just paying for it. And then there's the lads, fucking hell, and the teams then that the money the League of Ireland team gets then, or League of Ireland teams get then, fucking disgrace, lads. Paying that cretins fucking. I liked Delaney, but it's just got too much about it, the money for him. Like it's kind of like when you have a manager there for too long, and it's like you just need a change, and it's just not working out, and a little bit of corruption in there as well. The flag, lads. Did you see the flag that somebody tried to get into Gibraltar? I don't think they actually got it in though, and it was his head superimposed onto Father Ted, and it was just that money was just resting in my account. It was flag of the week. That's what it was. Flag of the week. Maybe that's something I could do. New topic. Flag of the week. Next week, Mozambique's flag with its proud AK-47. Go on, Mozambique. But yeah, enough said that. John Delaney went out, had a few pints for the Gibraltar game last night or yesterday evening. It was tough, a tough watch. I'm like, I love football, but my first team is Ireland. I could live without club football. It wouldn't bother me. It's all about the internationals for me. That's why I hate those people. Oh, international break, so boring. It's like I relish them. I love when they come around. I'm really looking forward to Tuesday, but I was looking forward to it more before yesterday. They were poor enough. Now you can say a lot about conditions and things like that, and it was an artificial pitch. It's not suitable. It looked dreadful to play, like a hard game to play. And credit where credit's due, the Gibraltans. Since the last time we played them, they're a hell of a lot more organised and a hell of a lot less headless and mental as they were, because they were fucking crazy. Your man is actually doing a good job managing them, that Uruguayan lad. So yeah, credit to them. They won a couple of games in the Nations League as well, so their confidence will be fairly high. Took a world-class save by Randy to keep us in the game. That's no joke. Crazy. Georgia now is the big one. Onwards. Get the 3 points, go onwards. Georgia is the teller now. Try and go out and play a bit of football. Georgians are no joke either. But we'll see. Hopefully next time when I'm talking to you lads, it'll be 6 points in the bag for the boys in green. Yes, lad. Something I noticed as well about the Champions League, lads. What the actual fuck are we paying TV license for? Like, I know it's not Virgin Media's fault. They don't really get the money from TV license. But there was a day there that I had no Champions League game on. I was on Tuesday or Wednesday or something. I went to sit down to watch Champions League. No game on. No game on RTE or no game on TV3. And the day before that, they had 2 games on. They had a game each on, playing simultaneously. So they both had a game on at 7:45 on a Tuesday, say. And then on Wednesday, none of them had anything. That's absolute stupidity. I don't know. Crazy. Sunderland going okay. Cup final next week, the 31st against Portsmouth, the EFL Cup in Wembley. Nice to get a bit of silverware. There were a couple of good results since I've seen another draw though, but it was against Barnsley, so it was a good draw. Barnsley were above us, so they're above us by 2 now points, so we have a chance to take them on the game in hand. And the bet Walsall as well then, 2-1. Will Grigg banged in the winner, didn't he? Happy days. That's all about the sport. Oh, there was one ad actually I seen. I don't know if anybody's noticed. I don't really talk about rugby because I don't have a massive interest in it, and I don't know enough about it to have any opinions on it anyway. So I'm sure there's more learned people out there than me about rugby. So, but the Six Nations ad got me thinking. I don't know if anyone's seen it, the Wales one. And it's the two Welsh lads, the two Welsh older fellas, and they're like, oh, it was the old lady's purse, and when the old lady died, she gave us this purse, and she told us not to spend every penny that was in the purse on the Six Nations. Fine, lovely ad. I can't help but think that these two lads just had a stroke of genius in the pub one night and said, fuck it, lads, we'll go home and tell the two wives the crack. We'll say that when the old lady died, she told us to spend all this money on the Six Nations, and the two boys are just gone with it, and they get to go on the beer fucking relentlessly anytime the Six Nations is on. And it's like, but sure, it was her dying wish that we went on the beer all over Europe. It was her dying wish. We may not let her down now. Poor old ma, the old sod. I think it might have been a stroke of genius, lads. And if it was, fucking credit where credit's due. That's a good one. You don't mess with the dead, like. Yeah. Oh, I don't think I've anything on this page. I'm gonna have to turn the page now, so no, I won't actually. I was sitting down just taking a couple of notes earlier on, and it was like TV. I was like, I have nothing to talk about on TV, and then a few things come into my head, so I've actually a load to talk about. So, first off, James Bond, Die Another Day was on yesterday when I came back from watching the Ireland match before we went out. And Pierce Brosnan, fairly decent Bond, I think. But Halle Berry coming out of the water in her brassiere or bikini, whatever. So she coming out of the sea, and it's all slow. And what does the Buck Brosnan do? When he whips out the binoculars for a closer look, the little perv. Huh? Have some respect, man. Jesus. And then, weird, I'd like to know who wrote this next scene that I'm going to describe into this film. Because one thing about the Brosnan era of Bond films, they were incredibly cheesy, like, in some parts. They were good, but they're kind of it's a standard format anyway that they run by, if you ask me. But I like watching them. They're good all the same. But who wrote this scene? Standard 007 sex scene. He's with Halle Berry. I don't know what's her name in it actually. Can't remember. He's with Halle Berry, and mid bonk, she just whips out a knife and cuts a pear in half and starts eating the pear. What is going on? Or whose weird fucking Ian Fleming's weird sexual fantasy was that? Huh? Yeah, and just then when they're riding, just get her to whip out an old hunting knife and cut a pear and get her to shove the pear down her gob then. You dirty perv, Fleming. What's wrong with you? It's not on. Get a life, man. Have some respect for the pears. Jesus, pears have feelings too. Yeah, crazy enough. But a line came up in it then after that, and this is where I'm going with the cheesy part, or the kind of cheesiness of it. So the line was, and that dickhead Madonna is in that one as well. Oh God, she's a face like a blind cobbler's thumb, that lady. She's a fucking gowler. But they're in this fencing class or whatever, and it's fancy fencing now, not the kind of fencing that I'd be used to in West Roscommon, with stakes and staples and hammers and belting and banging and bushting. No, this is the fancy fencing with the little swords. But she said something to him about must have been something about fencing, or are you a good fencer or something like that. And he goes, well, I have been known to keep my tip up. And it's like, oh Jesus, classic innuendos, classic Bond innuendos. So I had a little look then to find a few more of them, and sure, there's loads of them. all over the place. But I picked a few of my favourites here. There's two other ones. That's a good one now. I have been known to keep my tip up. He says it to Madonna. He'd have fucking trouble with that lady anyway, Gowler. But then this other one then was The World Is Not Enough with Denise Richards was the Bond girl, as they're known. And just the end of the film, they're in bed together, and her name, right? Her name is like Doctor Christmas something. Her first name is Christmas anyway, and her second name is, I don't know. Let's just say Richards for the sake of it. Seems it was Denise Richards, so her name is Christmas Richards. And just after they finish bonking again, he turns to her and just goes, "I thought Christmas only comes once a year." Oh God, lads. I've watched these back this week. Absolutely, cat. Comedy gold. Comedy gold. And then there's another one then with what film is it in? I forgot to write down what actual film it was. It's the one with James anyway, and it was Moonraker. I don't know. Another classic name here, Dr. Goodhead, Dr. Holly Goodhead, and James are under the covers doing a little bit of canoodling, and then someone says, they're being watched anyway. I think they're in a space shuttle or something like that, and they're being watched. And this guy says, "Oh, like what are they doing? What's going on?" And the other fellow turns to him and just goes, "I think he's attempting re-entry, sir." Classic. Oh, class. Hilarious. But that was good. And I dropped in a couple of the names there. And then when I seen that Dr. Goodhead name, I was like, "Oh, Jesus, what other mental names have they?" Because you know the few, you've heard the few. So I had a quick look through some of the absolutely unreal. There's the first one, probably the most famous mental Bond girl name, Pussy Galore. Classic, standard. We have this one. This one made me laugh, lads. Oh, I can barely say it. Okay, Plenty. Her first name is Plenty. What? First off, that's mental enough. And then her second name is O'Toole. Plenty O'Toole. Yeah, she was another famous Bond girl. Oh God, that's Dr. Holly Goodhead. We said her already. Another doctor, Dr. Molly, Dr. Molly Warmflash. Fucking mental. I'm telling you, that Fleming fella, I'm fucking locking up. Stuff. And then Octopussy, of course. That's just like one name, kind of like Seal. Octopussy. And she was, of course, the woman with 8 vaginas. That's why they called her Octopussy. Yeah, so there's some mad names there, lads. Oh, Jesus. Can you imagine if someone called their firstborn Plenty? And then Plenty O'Toole. Oh, Jesus. Unreal. Oh, I might have to take a break. No, we'll crack on. Go and watching. Well, I'm going to try and watch it if it's not too late or it's not too long. I want to watch that new film that's on Netflix. It was released on Friday, The Dirt. It is based on the life of Motley Crue, and it looks amazing. And if you don't know anything about the Crue, Motley Crue, well, if you do know anything about them, you know how mental and outlandish it's going to be like. And they were insane, like lunatics, complete and utter excess for years and years and years. So it's bound to be a mental film. Like, if you've never heard of them, you've probably heard of at least one of the lads in the band, Tommy Lee. I'm sure he would have been in the celebrity space for a while. Tommy Lee was the drummer for Motley Crue. You might have seen he's famous also for being a boating enthusiast. If anybody knows what that means. Dirty boys, dirty girls. Yeah, so that was the sex tape that he did with Pamela Anderson, was on a boat. That was a boating sex tape gag. Yeah, you're welcome. Um, yeah, but I'm really looking forward to that. Like, it's there was a book written about them as well called The Dirt, so it's kind of based on the band's autobiography, and sure, some of the stories, lads, they're lunatics altogether. I was talking to herself as well, Tiffany. During the week, we're talking about Titanic, and she's absolutely disgusted that I only ever seen it once. And I was like, grand, yeah. I said, I seen it once, you kind of enough. You already know how it's going to end anyway. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert, guys, in case nobody's seen the Titanic. It sinks. Yep. Believe that. It sinks. Um, but I'd raise the question, like, how this fella that's on it, Jack, I don't know what his name is. Leonardo DiCaprio. Jack. Oh, I have no idea. I'd never think of it. He's some sort of a low life bum guy. Not a bum, but like he's poor and all this. How is he fucking jet setting? Well, not jet setting. How is he jet setting? Ship setting? How is he affording all this anyway? Going around the place, getting on. How did he? It's alright saying, oh, he got the, or he did he win? Did he win a ticket for it or whatever? How did he get to Southampton? The lad is from the fucking slums in America. How did he get a ticket over to Southampton? I'm telling you, something dodgy there. Something that Rose never knew about him. He was a shady character. I'm telling you, there was more. I think there was more than meets the eye with the bold Jack. I'm telling you that now. We'll never know though, because spoiler alert, he died. Yes, he did. Also, she was disgusted, and like we've been together 10 years, lads. So there's still things she doesn't know about me. And one of those things is I'd never seen Charlie in the Chocolate Factory before. She was disgusted with that now. I don't know why I never seen it. I was probably too busy watching the Mighty Ducks, to be honest. I genuinely bit hungover this morning. Sitting, put a fry on. Went to the shop, got the tacklings for a fry. Full Irish done for myself and herself. Sat down and I said, you know what? I might stick on the old Mighty Ducks DVD, the first one, the Pee Wee one, and I watched it. And it's still good, man. Still gets me. It's so many lessons to be learned from that film, you know. So many lessons that Coach Bombay learns. You know, brilliant. But yeah, never seen Charlie in the Chocolate Factory. I always thought it was a bit weird, anyway, that this mental eccentric bastard just invited a load of children over to his chocolate factory. Don't take sweets from strangers, guys. And I was just wondering then, maybe Michael Jackson could be the CEO of Willy Wonka Chocolate Factory. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's all a front. I mean, if you were going doing something horrific like that, I mean, what would be the perfect front? A chocolate factory, or maybe a theme park or something like that. Something that like kids really love. So yeah, probably like a sweet factory or a theme park. I'm not making any connections or anything here. It's just, I suppose, the two things that two go-tos, I suppose. But yeah, that's that. I think that's it, lads. I could tell the Anne Doyle story. I don't mind now going to 50 minutes because I've done it twice in a row. So it's consistency, you know. Alright, I'll tell it. So myself and the wife. She wasn't the wife at the time now. I don't think she was the fiance at the time either. It's a few years ago. We were living in Kerry, and one of the lads turned 30. Same lad that got married on Friday, actually. It was his 30th, so I don't know if he listens, so I don't know if it was 5 years ago. Don't want to put a number on him. 4 years ago, maybe? 5? I'd say it could be 5. But anyway, that's relevant. we were going up. He was living in Dublin with his now wife at the time, and we were going up for his 30th. So we got up there and we went to this bar, and I cannot for the life of me, I'd have to ask him, I cannot remember. I know the street, but I can't remember the name of it. I can even see the pub now outside it. I can see it in my head, but it was a pub anyway on, I don't know, some street in Dublin. I'm not very good with Dublin. But we were in there, and the kind of party, or the gang of us was kind of down the back. So we all went for dinner. It was deadly, one of those Japanese places where they cook in front of you, and they're fucking flipping all the stuff and chopping up everything and throwing it in their hats and throwing bowls all over the place and everything. Great crack, great experience. Lovely food as well. But we went to this pub anyway, and there's a gang of his workmates there, and a few of us from home and stuff like that. And myself and herself said, "Do you know what, we'll just go out to the front bar to get a drink, and we'll just chill out there for 20 minutes, like." And we said, "Sound, yeah, grand." So the two of us went out, and we were standing at the bar. I had just ordered a drink, 2 drinks for us, and next thing Tiff just says to me, "Oh Jesus," or I said, someone noticed anyway, "Jesus, that Anne Doyle from the television, from the news team, whatever, the fucking Dinosaur Doyle." I said, "Oh fucking hell it is, yeah." And I was standing right beside her, and I said, "Jeez, it is, yeah, it's grand." And I just got me drink, and I paid for my drink, and a couple of women then spotted her, and they were taking like pictures of her and tried to, like, a couple of them went over to her, and she turned around, got a picture and stuff like this. But after all this going, she turned to me then. She said, "Excuse me." I was like, "Yes." Would you not be better off down at the back of the pub with the rest of those people? You know, would you not be down there? Would you not prefer to leave and go down there? Oh, lads, Kearney didn't take that well. I said, "Excuse me." I said, "Who do you think you are?" I said, "I'm up here with my girlfriend having a drink, and I can fucking drink anywhere I want in this pub." I said, "I'm not causing any trouble, or I'm not fucking hassling you." See, she thought that the ones taking pictures of us, I should have clarified this, she thought that the ones taking pictures of her were with us, but they were just a gang of random women. And I fucking lit her. So we were only going having one drink there, and we just finished the drink. And I said, "You know what?" I was like shoulder to shoulder with her, like, it was so awkward. I think she was there with her woman. And I said, "Fuck this cunt now." I said, "I'm fucking staying here for another drink." And I called the barman over. I said, "Can I get 2 more drinks?" And he said, "Yeah, no problem at all." And after the kind of giving out that I gave to her, and when she realised that those people that were annoying her had no connection to myself or Tiff, she kind of turned around and she said, "Listen," she said, "Oh yeah, what's this?" She said, "I should have thought this through. I should have this ready." She said, "Listen," she said, "I'm sorry for, no, I apologise for being so rude earlier on." She said, "I thought that those ladies were with you, and it was just, we're just trying to have a drink here, trying to just have a quiet drink on a Saturday night." I said, "Listen," I said, "fair play, Jess, that's fair enough." I said, "Everyone deserves to have a quiet pint themselves." I said, "That's all that myself and my girlfriend are doing." I said, "So that's why I got mad." I said, "Because you just had to go at us." I said, "But listen," I said, "thanks a million for actually saying sorry, like." And she goes, "Excuse me," she said, "I did not say I was sorry. I said I apologise." And my brain then went just, oh God, went full Westeros Common. And I said, "Will you ever go and fuck yourself, will you?" And that was it. She turned around, and I fucking sat right beside her and finished my drink, ordered another one, and then went down the back of the pub with the rest of the ruffians, the rest of the scumbags. Oh, lads, my blood was boiling that night with that fucking animal. Yeah, I hope that's a good story, because at the time it seemed good, like. Told Anne Doyle to go fuck herself. Go away and fuck yourself. Something like that, anyway. something to that effect. But that's it, lads. I'm gonna wrap it up now. 45 minutes, not so bad. Happy days. I hope the sound quality is alright, because it was kind of, there was a couple of clicking and bits, and I thought it was from their phone, my phone ringing, but I've my phone left away from the recording box now, so hopefully it's been alright. And the laptop didn't stop recording or anything this time, like it did an hour ago, which was annoying. But that should be it. Listen, have a good couple of weeks, and remember, there's a couple of bank holidays coming up, so stick in there. There's one the Easter, and then May bank holiday. So stick in there, lads. You're nearly there. Enjoy it and have the crack, and I'll see you again. Take care. Good luck.